Hey everybody, it's Joanne and Nikki. We're back as Confessions of Two Dietitians, and today is my favorite one that causes me lots of trouble. So, carbs. Give me all the carbs, or at least that's the way I used to be. I've learned my lesson. I've made some changes and I know better. However, they can call my name every once in a while. So
Mhm.
let's talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, all the goodies related to carbohydrates. So, Joanne,
Yes,
tons of
yes,
chatter. Some people say
yeah.
never eat a carb. Then they
Don't eat
say
carbs.
eat gluten-free carbs. And then
Yes,
you're eating tons of refined carbs more that are even more refined
yes,
than the other. So, oh my
yes.
gosh, sort
Oh
it
my
out.
goodness, the chatter, the noise about
Yes,
carbs. In fact, the diet regimens where, you cut out all the carbs, and
right.
then I'm sure everybody's confused. I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
think I'm getting a
confusing.
little confused.
I know. Same.
Um, but I think I've got it figured out. So
Okay. Teach.
it's more about the quality of your carbs. Oh, sorry, there I got something
Nope,
coming in.
you're still there.
Am I still here? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's the quality of the carbs more than anything else. And so it's just, again, we're going back to fiber,
Yeah.
fiber rich carbohydrates.
Hmm.
That will stay in your stomach longer, slow down the absorption of the sugars from the carbs. So that's just number one focus. Look at not just the grams of carbs, but how much fiber are you getting with those carbohydrate foods.
That can be confusing.
And so, for a little example, pastas made with refined flour, enriched wheat,
Hmm.
has very little carbs, except garbanzo bean pastas. Oh my, have you discovered those, Nikki?
No, I haven't had that yet.
Oh, wow, loaded with
Hmm.
fiber and delicious. So,
Hmm.
there you go. You can eat pasta, but try for example, garbanzo bean pastas.
Well,
And like with breads at breakfast, instead of the white bread, zero carb, zero fiber. How about rye bread?
or
And
that really hearty, grainy stuff. I
grainy
love that.
breads. Look
And you
for
couldn't eat more than one of those pieces of toast if you tried because they're so filling, where I
yes.
could eat a ton of white, fluffy, marshmallowy kind of bread.
Oh, I love those chewy breads. Once
Yes.
you get used to that, rather than the
Yes.
marshmallow, they're so great. So, I
Well,
mean, just think that way.
and can I go back to your pasta?
Yeah,
And people could do regular pasta, but we're talking pasta. We're not talking pasta, like portion size. And
of
so,
course
and
you
one
can.
way to combat that, Joanne, is one thing we've already addressed is the protein thing.
It's
If
protein.
you just have noodles and tomato sauce and you don't have any protein that you put in there, then you're going to want to eat more, but that protein will help you
Yeah,
to stick to a
that's right.
regular portion size. Well, and this is a little near and dear to our hearts because this is when Joanne and I actually met, was
Yes,
when she was doing a
yes.
presentation for all the local dietitians about glycemic index and
And
glycemic load. And we'll get into that conversation more later. But just so you know, choosing less processed carbohydrates is it. Remembering that some of those very high fiber types of carbohydrates will have more calories, but we're focusing on nutrient
that's
density
right.
and that fiber to slow it down
Yep.
so it
Yep.
takes longer to go through your system, packed full of that good, yummy,
Right.
sticky, soluble fiber and
Yep.
roughage and all the good stuff that helps to be able to keep us full and keep us satisfied. And I think that's
I
it.
just want one point, Nikki. I just
Yeah,
wanted to go back to what you said a little bit earlier about
sure.
the gluten-free.
Oh, yeah.
And
Product.
so as one who is gluten sensitive, I've really worked very hard at trying to find those lower gluten foods that are high in fiber.
Yeah,
So just keep that in mind. Just because it says gluten free is not really necessarily going to be better for you.
right.
But there are a lot of options out there that you can, incorporate gluten free grains, which
Right.
I do. And I don't eat any of that
It's hard.
gluten-free processed carbs at all.
Well, and that's the trouble, you think, or same thing organic. Like I have friends that will not eat a regular cookie, but they'd eat an organic cookie. I'm like, well, it's still a cookie.
It's still the same
So
carb.
we
The
have
carbs are the
to,
same.
Yeah, we
Yes,
have to think about things a little bit more differently and just, find those favorites. And at first it can be a lot of work, but then as you're more used to it and finding what you like, and I wrote down the garbanzo bean pasta because I might try that. And so it's just kind of all evolving, but definitely knowing that those carbohydrates play a trick because I used to spend a lot of my time eating more
yeah.
processed carbohydrates. They go right to my belly, make my pants tight, weird. And they make me
That's right. For
hungrier.
people that really are, have that tendency toward
Yeah,
insulin resistance, you might have that in your family where you're
exactly.
genetically more prone to deposit that fat around your middle.
Right,
Insulin
exactly. And
resistance
it
and
causes
processed
more,
carbs.
yeah,
Yeah, processed carbs just fuel that.
that's
And
right. And
so really
inflammation.
inflammation. That's right. Exactly.
So there are so many reasons to limit your processed carb intake, not only for the snowball effect that it has, where it makes you tired and hungry and full and not full and more inflamed and all these things going on, instead of just eating some higher fiber processed or higher fiber processed carbs, higher fiber unprocessed
Processed.
carbs.
You
And then
got it.
also sometimes you don't need it.
Yeah.
For example, Jimmy John's. I love me a Jimmy John's bun, whatever those things are, those hoagie buns.
Yep.
But I get an unwich and I take a bite of somebody else's bun because they're nice here.
Maybe,
So I
maybe,
skip it. Huh?
yeah, maybe your neighbors, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, so
So I don't need to have that bread on
what
there,
about
so I'm not gonna have
potatoes?
it. Oh
Nikki,
yeah, say the
potatoes.
potato thing. Yes,
Uh,
yes, yes.
Yes, because people, especially when I've worked in diabetes education and certified diabetes educator, so many years, we used to tell people just like little portions on potatoes and
Yeah.
how they're so loaded with carbs. And
Yep.
uh, but now I just read a study that said that if you bake the potatoes, that preserves the resistant starch within the potatoes, which means that can actually have very slow release of your carbs into your
Perfect.
bloodstream and actually could be good for managing
Good.
your diabetes. So here we're learning new nutrition information coming out every day.
Right.
Bake your potatoes, don't boil them or fry them, but if you bake them,
Hmm.
much better, eat the skin, right?
Sure.
So all kinds of new information, and we'll be bringing that to you, right, Nikki, as we go along
Amazing.
with
Yes,
questions of
for
two
sure.
diabetes.
So watch out for those carbs, but have a good day anyway, even when you're watching out for those carbohydrates. Thanks, Joanne. Thanks everybody for being here. And we'll see you on
Thank
the
you.
next time when we're
Okay,
chatting and
bye-bye.
confessing more in the future. Talk to you soon.